just going to go home, but I'm fed up, so I can't help it. I'm just going to film. See this taxi doing a turn in front of me? This guy comes all the way down here to do a turn on the front of this corner where I'm standing on the street. Now look, I'm just going home, but look, you hit with, I'm just going to take you down into this damn park. Okay, see now, look, see how he turned around, now he's going to park in front. Coincidence or matrix patrol system. That's right, they've turned it off now because they don't want to show you. Because they're like, she's going to come in here and show what rat bags we are. Watch this rat bag in front, this rat bag patrol system. I'm losing it here and I don't mind admitting it. Look at him blowing leaves around in a park. Look at him. Blowing leaves around in a public park. That's what agitation. Doing some good work there, blowing the leaves around. Look at all this rubbish around. Look, this same truck racing here. Look, just watch it. Keep going. Because you know what they're doing. And there's people sitting in the park. Look, you have all these people sitting in the park with all this racket going on. Like what normal people would sit there. And we've got the usual truck perched in front with the turnstiles, you see. But they've left the mask there. That looks like my mask. But see, I'm just... You know, like you come here and this is like one park. And they're always doing some stuff in it every day. Like he's blowing leaves around in a park. Like, see, he's gone now. See, he's gone up there, he's gone away. Because he only come to blow those leaves to make that racket when I come across here. You know. But they still don't like to be on film, you notice that? But my point is that this is just not normal activity. There's no way that every time you come into this park, like if I come here every day, like walking through, they will always have all this rubbish going on. Okay, so I should be more composed and I shouldn't say anything and I should try to make myself look more legitimate. But so you can hear that wind blower. That is just a wind blower or a leaf blower. That's just an excuse to make noise, to agitate me. As you can see, it's successful. Can you hear it? It's still going in the background there, even though he's halfway up the street, like he's actually almost a block away because this is a very big park. But you see what I'm saying? You shouldn't be able to hear those things from that distance, but basically they make them really loud. Because a little leaf blower to blow a few leaves shouldn't make all that noise. Also, until recently, and when I say recently, the last few years, you would never see people being employed to blow leaves around in a public park or in this park ever. Because it's a park. The wind will blow the leaves. It's full of, you know, but that is just a programmed artificial being operating against me, operating against a human being. I could actually use this new walkway to film him. See how he's still hanging around? Like he's blowing leaves now along the street. Does this make any sense to anyone? Notice how he ignored me, because I would actually even, you know, I'm so angry that I could almost ask him, but there's no point in interacting with these programmed people. That's their job, that's their life. Well, it's not a life, it's an anti-life against real life. But see how that noise is going, so that if I want to come into the park, I have to listen to that noise. But that won't stop other people coming into the park, no. I have seen it. And I'll tell you this, see, I can't concentrate because I'm just going to go up there and make him move out. I had it. So like, oh, we'll film him and see if he doesn't clear off. See, they've cleared all this here, look. So let's just see. Because I've got stuff in my ears, so it's, so I can hear it very loud, but I don't know how loud it really is. That's just blowing leaves. So look. Watch it. Blowing leaves. Why here? Do you have people all over Sydney paid to blow leaves around? What's going on here too is what I'd like to know. Like, what is going on here? That's like a huge thing like that for a few leaves in a so-called natural environment. Oh, here comes a little doggy, but I'm not going to film the little kid. I'm going to keep away from him. And I'm even going to avoid the temptation to interact with the dog. Just putting my back on that little one because they're possessed, bloody. He's deadly possessed, the little one. The program part of the matrix. And so I'm just going, look how rough it is around here. Hey, can you believe how rough it is around here? Could I ask you something? What are they doing around here? Like, what,
it's
like
a bike track.
What?
A bike track. They all ride their bikes down
I was
here
going
and
to
up
say,
over the
because
jump.
it strikes me that they cleared it only recently, and I thought I could walk here, but now when I come here, it's like a great big... So this is a bike track?
A bike track, yeah. So they've made bumps and things that they can ride their bikes over,
Why don't they ride on the footpath? Might be a bit smoother for them.
Yes.
But I'm glad you cleared that up for me anyway, because, yes, you're up on things more than me, because I come in here and I thought, oh, goodness gracious, because it looked smooth when I was there, and I thought, oh, I'll have a little trek through here.
Not really.
I think I might avoid it now. Thank you for that. Okay, well, that's interesting. Okay, so they've now built a little so-called bike track through here. No wonder it's so rough. But I did say that that's an excuse to bring the little ones. Mind you, I have to admit that she isn't riding the bike and her little toddler is so small. So she must have, I don't know, probably, don't ask me. I'll leave you to figure that one out for yourself, because if it's a bike track, why is she in there with a 2-foot high little being, shall we say? So that's interesting. Try to make rationale, people, that's all I'm saying. Use a bit of logic, even though I know that I look stupid, but, you know. But either way, I think, I don't know. Perhaps I'm so out of breath. But, see, I'm just going to see if I can just film a few trees. I don't know why, but I just pretend that I'm in. See, even that noise is still going in my ears, even though I'm moved away from it. But I can still hear it, and I've got stuff in my ears as well, so you're not going to allow me to film a few trees, I don't think. Not in peace anyway. I will film them, but I hope that I try to get them good. Oh, see, that noise is still bothering me. The bus is moving out in front there. So this is what I'm saying. This is, look, if you're not experiencing this, anyone who is experiencing this, yes, someone said that, left a comment a while back, that I always say, I don't know if I'm making any sense, because I know that if you aren't experiencing a little bit of this negative matrix against you, or you don't have that realization at this time, you know, and someone films walking through a park and says there's a negative matrix operating all around, you really do look out of touch with what they consider to be the real reality, you know. But, you know, and that's what you assume when you're filming it. You assume that you're trying to show something that can't be shown, because you experience it, but also you have to show that it's 24 hours a day, that it's all the time, and also you have to show that things were different to before. And you can't show that in a video, not unless I had filmed this part, and I didn't even have a mobile then, say 4 years ago. Or 4 years and 9 months ago to be exact. But see, I'm always correcting myself because I think some people might pick on me for not being accurate, but because I am trying to just make more basic points when I make the videos. So I don't, you know, and as I am in the matrix with noises and people around me, you know, I'm not in full comprehension or I'm not working at full capacity myself as a human being. I'm not concentrating 100% on what I'm saying. I don't know what I'm going to say, and I don't know what's going to happen around me. So, and of course I'm trying to make some sort of sense because I don't want to look a total fool. But see, we're just going to have that leaf blower blowing those leaves. He's still there. I can still hear it, even though it's not probably coming out now. Just hanging around within my earshot the whole time that I have just come into the front of this park. You know. That's all I'm saying. See the usual truck parked there because I would have went to the tombstones, but as you can see, I'm not going to bother with the tombstones for a bit. Not that it matters. I might go and have a look and see if I can make some synchronicity, but if I fail, don't hold me to it because I don't know what I will see, and I haven't had time to think about it, and also that noise is preventing me from taking in things clearly to where because if you can't concentrate, you can't really even get very good synchronicity because you have to concentrate and see something and say, that's what it means to me. That's the feedback I'm getting, more or less, from something, you know. And that's the whole purpose of this matrix, is to make you less in every way, because even if it doesn't matter to the matrix or the beings that I get synchronicity from something, because it probably doesn't matter to them because they know that I know, but they still don't want to give you the satisfaction of making a coherent video that flows and that makes some sort of that someone that's listening will understand it. They don't want that. They want you to look as though you are totally out of touch and just making it all up and don't know what you're talking about, and that you're, you know, this doggy's coming. The doggies. Oh, see, the dogs are going to sidetrack me, so we'll have a doggy video now. So, hello doggies. Oh, it's the same fella. He's always here, actually. With the same little dogs, but I won't film him because the dogs are cute. Oh, I don't know what I mean to say. I really don't. But they can run. Doggies. A lot of the same people come up. See, it doesn't matter what time in the park too. A lot of the same people come in. That's past coincidence too. In the past I'd have said that's just coincidence. But look, they've got a flashing light here in front of me. Can you see this? See, it's flashing. So can you see that flashing light? It won't come out on the video, but why do they have a flashing light when the sun is glaring down? Like, in what reality do you need a flashing light when the sun is beating down here? I am actually too hot. And, you know, but see, why have they got that flashing light? I shall show it, but it's catching my eye, but it won't come out on the video. But, you know, I've got the pram pusher in front. Oh, there's prams everywhere, bikes everywhere. Pram push is going to come up right in front of me. You see that flashing light? Is it coming out there? Through there? See, why do they need a flashing light in broad daylight with the sun? Look, I'm getting those trees in, I think, but I can't actually see what I'm filming because the sun's actually in my eyes, but the tops of those trees, I think I might be getting something interesting here. Those trees are so high, they're definitely worth filming. But they will try to get rid of them. You see. Because they do. See, look at all this. This is all wood chip. So that is all trees that they've got rid of in this park. Now you might say, look, there's plenty of trees, and there is. There's plenty of trees. But, as you can see, this is all wood chip. That means they've cut those trees down and put those trees, you know, into that machine that I showed you once in a video where they grind it all up into wood chip and then they sprinkle it round, you know, the park. I know that it looks as though there is plenty of trees, and there certainly is. This park is absolutely full of trees. But maybe some humans are keeping on top of them with the trees and with the park. But hey, that's about the only thing that you are keeping top on. That's only in one park, and it's just at the bottom of my street. My street is just over there past that truck that's parked in front of me there. Coincidence or matrix that every time I come into the park in broad daylight, there is a truck parked next to me or in the park, close, because they know where you'll go. So this is all wood chip. So, see what I'm saying? So my argument doesn't hold water because look, yes. But you know, if this so-called local council matrix program that operates around even me, you know, is trying to get on top of the trees. And they know they can do it because they bring you down. They bring you down. And they certainly don't like these big ones, I would say, but they pretend they do. That's why they're doing all this work. Can you hear that machine still going in the background? And the light flickering over there. Look, see, I'm starting to look a fool again. And I'm getting angrier and angrier and frustrated in every single aspect of my life. You know, it's very hard to explain. But what I'm trying to do, just so could say, well, that's all wood chip, so that means that was once a tree. You know, they find an excuse to get rid of a tree. Sometimes I think they have psychopathic, negative, technical people to come and maybe, you know, make a tree less. See how this tree's got some funny marks on it? So then they say, oh, the tree has had it, and they've got an excuse to get rid of it, you see. That's I think, how they do things. But that's just me surmising, of course. And maybe I'm suspicious and got it all wrong. I don't think so. But either way, their main aim is to suppress human beings. They don't really care about nature or the trees one way or the other. But if they think you care, and if they think you get a vibration out of the trees, then they will want to get rid of them. But only subtly. If they think that other real humans notice it, then they will leave it until an appropriate time. I am up on them. I see what they do, because I have to now, you see, I notice. But actually I'm still suppressed because listen to that noise in the background. See, I can't even come in here and talk peacefully. And I can't make him go away. He's all the way down there. He's right at the front of the park, which is quite a fair way away, but I can still hear that machine, even though I have stuff stuck in my ears. While he just blows a few leaves around. Look at the kids all over there in the park, supposed kids. They're not kids, they are possessed little ones, because they don't care about all that noise. But he's not even doing a proper job, just making noise. And we've got one standing in front of me there with the light. Can you see it? Standing in front of me there with the machine and the light. So, can you see that? I could go up and show you. I will show you. I don't care. They don't care either. The one coming out of the facility, you know, and you know what I mean? They know I'm filming and they don't care because they know that I look just plain silly. You know, so he's looking directly at me with sunglasses on, with a light going on. You know, I won't say what I really think about sometimes how it makes you feel, because but it's reasonable because this is happening every day of your life. But I'm just going in here to show that people say they don't move these rocks around. That's a tombstone there. See how there's one there? And there is a bigger one here. Can you see it? Is it coming out? I could be getting too much reflection. Probably am. See, the shade of that tree is blocking it. But that is a tombstone, and that is a little tombstone there. They have been moved from over there where the big, see where the yellow truck is? Where the big tombstones are behind the cage. They're closed in. They can't get out. But these have already got out. See? They are not inside the enclosure, and they're a long way separated from the other tombstones and the other rocks. And next to it you saw those ones that are partially covered by sand. See how that flickering light is right in the range of my eyes while I'm trying to make the video, but it won't come out. There we have the possessed ones walking in front, but they're subtle today. They're always subtle when I come in. But maybe I'll just focus on that tree. I don't know why. It doesn't make any difference. The tree is like, oh, wait on, I'll try to film this. Oh, dear. Oh, just trod on a branch there. Okay, so maybe, forget about the truck, forget about the light, forget about the wind blower. No, I can't forget about that wind blower. Look, he's come up near me again. I'm going to show you. See how he won't leave me alone? Because if he can't stop me from making the video further down when I can hear it, he'll come closer. He's just blowing. See, there he is. And there's another one behind him. Can you see? Can you see the green jacket through the thing there? He's stopped now because I've mentioned it. Let's just see if he goes away or if he comes near me. That's why they built that so-called bike track there, as an excuse to bring bikes around when I stand near those tombstones. Okay? So watch it. Okay, you've made your racket, you've stopped my video, you've made your presence felt, your technical, artificial, fake, false human being. Not that that matters. So we have the little ones all there swarming around in that fake playground they built recently too. Everything they build looks good. But it's just an excuse to bring more fake artificial people into the park to basically subtly, in a subtle, covert, C-O-V, yeah, C-O-V-I-D way of surrounding and secretly intimidating and patrolling real human beings or real spiritual human beings that don't want a bar of this technical, artificial, controlled matrix that every single one of these people in this park, every single one, without exception, I'm telling you. There's the plane going over my head there too. It doesn't say, look, all those in this park here, can you see them? I'm not going to go up to them because otherwise it looks as though I'm filming their dear little possessed little ones. I know that I sound very bad to be talking like this because they've got me upset. But you know, just film the plane. But essentially all these people are connected. They are like one mind because they read my mind and they're all connected in suppressing and you know, everything they do is to control and take down a real human being at this time. And I can't even make a small video. That's how they get you. Even in a park, it's just down the end of the street. Now, I don't know if see, they've got the, see how they built that bike track? So now I've got those bikes in front of me. So that's what I'm saying. They do all these things as that way they look legitimate. They look as though it's all plausible. It's all staged, all set up, all planned. You know this when you start to wake up to the reality, to the fact that you're in a technically controlled matrix. The real natural earth does not exist. I know I'm filming in a park, so it's a contradiction. Look, I'm showing you some beautiful big trees. Look. But everything in this park is still run by technology, and that is hard to accept. The real earth does not exist. It's gone. That's the game in tricking you into believing that you're still in a natural reality. Even though we're, as I've said many a time, and we're all aware that the computer and the internet, you know, the spider's web internet has long taken over the world anyway. We know that because we use it every day. I'm using it now to make a video. Well, I'm using the video, the camera. But I won't film there because there's the little ones. But, you know, because, you know, don't ask me how they do it, because I don't know how they do it. I only see that they do it. I see the results. You don't have to understand how something works to see something in action before your very eyes. You know, you don't have to. There's another plane coming over. Those planes are going the wrong way. They're coming over just in front of me. Can you see? Because there is no travel at the moment overseas from Sydney. I'm not even sure. I don't think you can even go interstate at the moment. I know it will open up soon. They have their timing, and do I see how there's a fellow lurking there in front of me? I'll just show you. Just going to stand there. See how he's standing there? Now he's going to move and pretend. He's trying to get out of my range here. Because here, see how he's coming in front? Let's just watch. See how he's walking backwards and forwards, not coming out. Now he's gone, pretended to go into the actual little block there. You know, because it makes it look as though I'm filming some. You know, makes it look as though. But he did walk up and down and was standing there, catching my eye. But then when I turned the camera on him, he went in. But it doesn't matter. It's not proving nothing, I know it. So maybe I should just try and show something else interesting in the park. See how he's now come out again. See how he's now come out again? He was only in there for a second, mind you. It could be that quick. That is quite possible. But it's still just to catch my eye. It is a patrol system, but you have to understand this. You have to believe it. You have to see it for yourself. Only those that experience this actually know this. So, unfortunately, you know, the videos are somewhat pointless. But, see if I can film something here anyway, this tree. Perhaps I shall sit down on this seat for a second. You see, they're coming up behind, but I'm just going to sit down on this seat. I've never sat on this seat, I don't think, in this park. Okay, so they've took over the park. The artificial android beings have took over the park. So I'm going to let them have their park and their reality and their matrix. But because they have to pretend that I'm allowed to be a normal person in this reality too, they have to pretend. They can't stop me from sitting on this seat, even though normally I wouldn't sit on it. You know, and this is the first time I've sat on this seat in the park. I rarely sit in this park. A few times when we had the dog, I sat in here with a relative because it necessitated bringing the coffee down here at that particular time. But for 30 years, I've basically not sat on the seat. There's a plane, another plane going overhead through the trees. So I'm just going to sit here for the first time in the park and film and talk and not care about what's going on around me. So I'm just going to keep the camera in front. Notice how that bus is still there on the bus stop? Can you? Oh, look, I just noticed. Look, right in front of me, the bus has been standing on that bus stop for all that time. Is that not a matrix? Watch it. Normally a bus would be there for half a minute. If a passenger gets on, You know, and don't forget they're quicker nowadays because they got the card. You don't even have to give them change or show a ticket or anything. It is going to stand there. Oh, I just saw him close the doors when I said he's going to stand there. He's going to pull out now because he knows that I'm going to prove that point. See how he pulled out and closed the doors the minute I said, because he's like, she's proven the point. He was standing there the whole time. That is not normal for a bus to deliberately go off schedule. They do that all the time with me. The buses wait for you to come along. If you're a block away, you'll see the bus waiting, blinking its lights. It will stand on the bus stop, even though it has passengers in there. If that was a real world and a bus driver just kept the bus for 5 minutes on a bus stop, even 10 minutes, or whatever time while someone else comes down past, those people on the bus would be saying, what are you waiting for, bus driver? They'd be kicking up a fuss, but they don't, because they're all part of the matrix. So he's going to start up that thing next to me if I'm unlucky. He better not. He's going to start up noise to stop me from talking here, because I was going to just talk. I was just going to talk privately to anyone that listens. See, he's going in the toilet there now. See, he's pretending to do cleaning in the toilet behind me. Have a look. Just from the minute I sat down on the seat. See, he will start up that if it suits him. But look, he's in there doing cleaning in the toilet. They never clean in the middle of the day in these toilets. They always do it late of the night when the park is, you know, when they close the toilets. That is not normal either. And I'm not sure if that's making noise because I've got stuff in my ears. You know, they usually try to override stuff in my ears, but unless they make a real lot of noise, and they don't want to prove themselves for this video. See, I put off my seat. I said I'd just sit on the seat so they're successful, because I sense them at the back of me. All this activity, they don't do all that. They don't do... Oh, I'm getting angry. So I've got the tram pushes in front, but I'm not even going to look at them. I'm going to go over... Oh, we've got someone coming up in front of me beside. Look, I'm going to focus on that tree. See, I cannot sit here. I know it looks as though I am being ridiculous. I know it looks as though I am complaining too much about a pleasant path. But it's not a pleasant path. Not when from the minute you come into it, they've got some sort of machinery going. And I just, you know, I know that maybe 1 or 2 people that might watch the videos probably already know this. So, you know, in some ways the videos are useless, and it gets it off my chest in a way. But at the same time, it takes a lot of energy out to be filming it and staying still in a spot to do that. But it doesn't change anything for me, so I do it. But see how those cars are slowing up in front of me there too? See how they're banking up in front and there's no reason for them to be stopped? That is a road. That is the main street of Leichhardt there. That's Norton Street. See how they're stopping? Yeah, okay, so there were a few people, but they were already stopped before those people crossed. But those people are programmed or told, whatever you like. They're part of the matrix to cross at that time to stop those cars in front of me. Because, see how they're stopped again? They send that car down there to stop those cars, to slow them up in front of me so that I'm aware of the traffic. You see? I can't explain it. Here comes the bus now. Let's see what the bus does. It says on the side of that bus, mockery, we're here to support you. And they've emphasised the word support. It won't come out. Because they know that I need support. Just a little bit of support, not much. But I can't get it. And that's just making me feel worse. That's the whole purpose of them putting the synchronicity on the side of the bus. It's my thoughts, my feelings, but they put it on the side of the bus, use it for an advertisement. They know that I will feel funny about seeing it. But other people, it will get them in to buy the product or whatever it is they're promoting on the side of the bus. It's weird. Coming up behind me. walking in front, coming behind me. All natural. Ha, ha, ha. There's nothing natural in this park. Nothing at all. Sometimes I think there might be a few birds that are, that look just a little bit more like the old birds, like you might see a pigeon and it looks just a bit more, I can't describe it, you'd have to see it, where it looks a bit more dirty and a little bit less shiny than the newer ones. Of course, some people would say, well, they're a different breed or they're a younger bird, this sort of stuff, and look, there's merit to this. But, you want to believe those sorts of things, but, they've got it down to such a good way. They've got it down to a fine heart, as my mother used to say. And they have. Because everything looks random, everything looks natural coming up in front. Just happens to cross in front of you. But I'm not going to film it, but right in front, Because, even in a park, and I'm talking loud here, I'm not going to lower my voice when they go past. I've been doing that, and then I just look as though most people lose half of what I'm saying, so my conversation is even worse than normal, shall we say. See another one crossing right in front of you. See how they can cross anywhere, but they're not walking even on the path. They're coming up through the grass part there instead of sticking on the path. See? Of course, they can pretend they're walking up to the convenience block. But it doesn't matter why they are doing it or how they're being made to do it. Different people, look, there's a funny van going down there, as you can see. Some sort of, oh, it's a policeman, actually, yeah. I just didn't see, because that's got the markings on the side, I wasn't sure. But I'm just sitting here. Oh, my hand is getting sore now holding the mobile, I haven't got it. But, this is the silliest video I know. I don't know if there is any. Normally I would get a lot more buses around me too. If I had sat there, if I didn't have the mobile, and see how this now how could you say that this is not natural? Notice how she put her hand up to her head when she come past, but that's walking in front of you too. Normally you wouldn't get this amount of people walking right in front of you at this time through the park. You see, right next to me too. But it looks there, it looks all natural and normal. But for this small suburb and for the population and for just one little park, in the middle of the day, on a weekday, no, it is not. But it doesn't matter. I can't show anything. I can't. But normally there would be a lot more buses. In fact, normally when I come out past this park or go there, down in front there, they've stopped the buses because I was going to point out how the buses wait on the bus stop and all this thing. We have got the pram pusher in front. I've mentioned this before. There is far too many pram pushers in Leichhardt. The population would have to be huge if everyone that pushed a pram really was part of the population. But see, these pram pushers they come from other parts. See, this is the end time situation, so all these people that come around walking dogs, pushing prams, because that makes them look as though they're a real person. Let's watch the buses here. 2 buses now. Watch that bus over there. No, it's it's not going to show you for the video. It knows that I was going to show that it would normally stop far too long on that bus stop. But it knows I'm filming because they know your every thoughts. Every single person around here is downloading everything I'm saying and thinking right now. Car pulling out of a closed shop in front of me there with the lights on. Won't come out, see? Pulling out. In the past, you never saw cement mixing trucks come down Norton Street. Now you do. And of course, we have the large amount of ambulance vehicles. That's one there going past in the red and white. Should be closer to the road to show the traffic. But I've just chose to sit on this seat. See, we have people walking down there, one in the green jacket, the fake little bike rider going past. We have the bike riders, the pram pushers, the dog walkers, and the people in the orange and the green. And the rest are all part of it too. You know. How many people do you see in green jackets? Everywhere. Of course, that is part of the false bus depot that is just at the top of my street there. People walking over there too, but that is part, see, it's one there, one green jacket there and one there. Won't come out on the video. But that is part of that bus depot that has now deliberately expanded over the last few years to where they even, Leichhardt always had the best bus service in Sydney, okay? You had buses going every 10, 15 minutes, always. But that wasn't enough because they want to bring more buses around the few remaining humans in a small area. They added even more buses. They even brought out a red bus, which is doubly long, that goes every 10 or 15 minutes into the city from here and goes all along. That, I took notice of that at the time and thought, oh gee, the bus service around Leichhardt is even better than what it ever has been. I couldn't believe it. I thought, how good, how lucky to have such a good bus service. I didn't know at the time, because that was just a little bit before the matrix came down on me, that those buses would be part of a program around me to suppress and show their presence to me. That way it looks valid. But most of the time I think that I can't prove it today because I'm filming, because they will turn the buses off. Although there is one coming now. But you know, they will not show you themselves in full force. But see, there's a bus gone past. Didn't even pull up. Normally they would pull up in front. But you know, sometimes I think they just send the buses out the back of the bus depot, because don't forget they've got a huge back entrance. You know, and they just send them out the back, take them round the block here, and then just bring them round in front of me, or up into the thing and back out the back. In other words, they just do a block and they'll have "not in service" written on the front. And they will do that. I figured that out because I've seen them do it, because, you know, because, okay, so some of these buses do actually go all the way into the, you know, into the main central part of Sydney and past other suburbs and things, and will pick up people. But that's only a small amount that's doing that. The rest are patrolling buses around here. That is my opinion. Yeah, because there's just no way that it's necessary to have that many buses. But I'm going to film the ibis over here and show you an ibis. Without annoying him too much. He looks a bit bedraggled and a bit worn out and a bit dirty like myself. Well, I might not be dirty, but I have had it. So, you know, they look a bit old, shall we say, and a little bit the worse for wear. And that is like the ibis here, but I'm not going to frighten them. There we go. See how some of them are more white, and that one, he's walking away because he's in the park. And I'm sorry that I haven't got something to throw him, but I haven't got any food on me. And if I did, that would only anger them. Oh dear, the dog went after the ibis. See Matrix stuff? Did you see that? Goodness gracious, see how they get so jealous and mean. You see how that dog just come in front and chased it away because I was showing it to you? Coincidence or Matrix? 9 out of 10 people would say coincidence. You're being ridiculous, you're being silly. You're overreacting to what a dog might do. And there is some truth to that. But, you know, I was just happened on that ibis. And I sat there for a long time and no dog come and chased. But the minute I put the camera on it and took an interest in it when I saw it, that happened. I think that. Oh, look, we've got the double buses banking up there on me, as you can see. Perhaps they are. Can you see it? The double buses banking up on me. They're both standing still. 2 buses standing still on a bus stop. Not natural, not normal. 2 of them standing still. Can you see it? They're like, well, she's proving one point in an hour-long video, so she still looks stupid, so we'll do it anyway. I'm awake up to them. I know how they operate because I've been living with it 24 hours a day for the last 4 years and 9 months. You know, it goes beyond coincidence. You understand how it works after that. See how long they're on the bus stop? Those 2 buses. That's not normal to be that long. You'd have to be picking up 50 people and they have to be taken an awful long while. I'm not going to film the pram pusher there. Not until it is way past. Not until it's way past. See the pram pusher, see we mentioned the pram pushers, they're finally moving, see. This one is still standing still. This one is going to stand there in front of me, intimidating. The other morning when I walked past, I didn't film it because I was just too tired to even pull the mobile out and I just had it. Sometimes you just say, I don't care about this Matrix anymore, I'm certainly not going to film. You know, I'd have to be filming 24 hours a day and I can't do it. This pram pusher is doubling back on me here. It's the same one. Is that Matrix or coincidence? She's doubling back. She was going out and now she has doubled back. And she's putting her hand behind her back doing her little allegiance to her Matrix controlling God, because that's another thing that I've observed too, some of the strange physical things that they will do. I picked that up from watching a demigod on the TV a while back and thought that is not a normal physical human action. It's difficult to do and it's not natural. The bus is finally going. But see, she doubled back round. She went to the entrance to go out and then she doubled back round and went back in front of me. Matrix coincidence? I didn't want to feel, oh look, he's took my seat. He has took my seat, the green jacket up there. Will I go and sit next to him? I'll tell you what, this Matrix has made me do some funny things over the last 4 years, things that I would be too embarrassed or too shy to do. But when you realise what the situation is and anger takes over you, it gives you kind of like false courage for a second, but also you just don't care. And you're like, you know, he has took my seat. Now look at him. He's took my seat, as you can see. I was sitting seat. So do I go and... Actually, I am angry, but I really don't have that much courage. Look, this is the same pram pusher. She's back a 3rd time. Same one. I'm not going to film her until she is past. But she's the same one, as you can see. Same woman here too. The old woman that walked past before. Are you keeping track of it? They're the same faces. They're the same people. Not that it matters, because most people would say, well, she's doing her like myself. She's in the park and maybe she's more energetic than me, so she was doing her, what would you call that? What do you call it when you do exercise and you sort of walk round and round? I can't think of the word, isn't that awful? I could think of it if I wasn't in the Matrix. For sure. Oh, goodness gracious, they just do anything to grab your eye, they really will. They know it gets to you, but also they know so much more about you too, and it's sad. Oh look, the ibis has come back. Oh, this is a different one. See, he's a bit cleaner looking, a bit younger. See, look at that. See? We have the Matrix patrollers around, 1, 2, 3, and he's took my seat there. I could go and plonk myself next to him. There's room for 2 on that seat, but I'm not going to. Maybe he's hoping I will, but I'm not going to give him that satisfaction. And it is an energy consumption. See, even this my activity in the park, even though they don't like me filming in this park, even though they don't like me filming in the park, they know that it's still draining me of energy. Oh, look, there's someone in there. With a little one too. They just want me to look as though I'm filming the little possessed beings, the pram pusher in front, the same one. But I'm not going to. I'll point it out, but you won't see it on the mobile, because if I go up and film, especially the smaller ones, it makes me look a bit, as someone said, a bit creepy, and I don't want to give them that much satisfaction. Those trees are pretty there. Look how bright they are. Look how bright green those 2 are. Oh, they're actually on the other side of the road, but they're quite bright green. See, there's 2 there. 2 there. And one standing in front of the tree here. She's holding up the tree for me. Isn't that nice? I should thank her for... Oh, look, there's a bike there in front with the bright light at me. Can you see it? Waiting right in front. Looks normal, but he will wait on that bike with the light going. Can you see it? And we have one here standing next to the tree. Just standing. You know, just standing. Standing. You know, why are they standing? You know, but I'm blocking out the bike with the bright light and showing you those trees. See? See how they are brighter than the rest? There's 3 of them. Oh, all of a sudden I just got a bit of a synchronicity. See how he's going to sit on that bike with the engine running too, I might add, and the bright light on the front in broad daylight, as you can see. It's the middle of the day, way past the middle of the day. Yeah, we have the bike riders, and the pram pushers behind me, bike riders. And there we go. Oh, bye-bye. Yeah, I'll rev it up. Yeah, there were no bike riders in Leichhardt before they came down on me. There were no bikes hardly at all. Now they're everywhere, these bikes. The bike riders where they rev up the engine. But see how there's 1, 2, 3. I don't know if that makes any sense, but there's 3. I just noticed this just now. 3 that are brighter colours. See that? Does that mean anything? 1, 2, 3. What does the 3 mean? Oh, 3 and the bright. That's right, you're walking along the middle of the road. So that is not a natural being, because he's walking along the middle of the road. Where the buses come down, the cars come down, but he knows they're not going to come down. But why would you do that? I've done that late of a night, that's about all. And even then you would be looking, but you wouldn't do it in the daytime. That's not natural, normal activity. Oh, okay. I've got one behind me there. You know, you're never alone. And I'm not going to film it either. Oh, we'll just film the tree for you. Oh, this was a failure. That fella's took my seat. See, I needed to sit down really, because I'm actually out of energy. I'm exhausted. The matrix code is blowing up the wind a bit. It's actually cooler for me now, because I'm actually quite hot. Oh! I can't get that tree in. I should try and get it in, but I shall leave that alone and go. Oh, I'll have to go home. My street is just there, just through the little entrance there. See, there's an entrance there, and there's an entrance there, and there's an entrance in front. Oh dear, that's what's wrong. Walking around here too. And I might just go up to the tombstones and go out that way. Let's see. Okay, there's a lot of trees. We've got them. What am I looking for? I don't even know what I'm looking for. But I don't even know. He's just going to stand there.
Have you not been watching it? No, I don't. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's been good. I mean, it's been
Just going to ignore those. So that was a tree once. So that's a tree stump. So that was the tree once. See how subtly there's a few that get taken away or removed, just as we are being subtly taken away and removed in many ways, I sometimes think. See how they've cut that down? See how that's still a tree, but they've cut that down. There, see that? See, that's just subtlety, see? It's like that's just a branch. See a broken branch? See the broken branch. Okay, I'm just going to stand here if I can. See, they've got the machinery there ready to go at the back there if they want to at any time, but they're giving me this space so that I don't film to show how intrusive and how negative they really are. But I'm just going to stand here, back here. Just going to stand back here. I think this might look alright, but I try to film better. But it's hard to film and concentrate on what you're saying, especially when you don't know what you're going to say and don't know really fully what you're saying anyway, some of the time. Where was I? I had a thought there, and now it's gone. It's no good. I had a thought, a clear thought there, and now it's gone. Oh, they're blocking my thoughts. I can't get them through. There's too much technology around. I can't get the thoughts in. I had a thought that I've been thinking of for a week, and it's as clear as anything, but I can't think of it because I'm out in the matrix. And it's just as though you get a thought and then it's gone before you can start. It's like that. This fellow's going to come up in front of me. Watch. I'm just getting here to film this tree, but I think someone will come up in front of me. See if it doesn't happen. The truck, of course, is still there, as you can see. Okay, so they're not. Okay, look, I'll just. There you go. Point taken, everybody. Is that not point taken? No. Just pretend they're doing something in front of you, but they're not. It's just all programmed to surround you, to hassle you, to make you not be able to come into the park and film a tree or just take in, Jason, you're interrupted. Take in the trees or just film, just pretend for a second that everything is not too bad. You never allowed that. Oh yeah, we have the pram pusher coming through. Notice the number of pram pushers. I don't know where. One pram pusher in front, one bike in front, one pram pusher there. Pram pusher there. Green jacket there, right in front. On the bikes, more little possessed beings on the bike. Prams up in front. People sitting in the park, they're the same too. They're sitting up there on the grass now. I'll tell you something strange. I'm not going to film this bike rider that's just gone past me. because, you know, I'm just not going to bother filming them. Oh, they're coming in front of me, so you can't avoid them. See how I said I wouldn't film the bike right in front? See the little ones coming in front, the possessed ones on the little tiny ones on the bike, making it look as though I am here to film the little possessed beings on the bike. So I shall have to go away, making my point here, setting it up. They're setting it up, setting me up. See how the bike riders are going to come in front of me now? I've avoided them, but they're going to go onto that fake bike track. Look at the size of that one going through there. It's too tiny to be riding. Look at this one here. They're only tiny. And they are on that rugged bike track that even I was having trouble walking through. Not natural beings. Not natural at all. These are not real. These little ones that look so cute and innocent on their bikes, they are artificial, unnatural beings. They're technically controlled, possessed beings. Point taken that that bike track there would be far too rugged and rough with all that dirt turned up for those little ones on those tiny bikes, but they are riding through it to come in front of me, to surround me. Am I making my point? Is it clear, or am I looking nonsensical? But that bike track has only been there for a week or two, as we pointed out, just because they knew that I would come around into the park like I'm doing here. They know what you're going to do before you do it. They have it all planned, set up, so that they can bring more people around. So they're coming in front. They could walk anywhere. They would normally walk on the path if they were normal people to come, but instead they're going to come through the more rough part, which very few people would, past all that wood chip in order to come in front of me, because that is where my eyes are looking, you see. They want to be in your range all the time. They have to be, your senses have to be overwhelmed by them and their matrix. That's an ibis bird. I don't mind filming him. You know, your senses have to be taken with them, you know. So they take over wherever your eyes are looking. They are in your line of sight, or your sense of hearing will be overwhelmed by them. Or your sense of sight or your sense of hearing, which are your main senses, have to be taken over by. She just pointed at me as I went past. That some sort of curse probably. Oh, the kid just backed into the bloody bike. Now she's going to cry and carry on and be hurt. This is a stage thing. I'm turning away. She deliberately backed her little bike right into that truck there, that yellow truck that's parked. I'm not even going to film it because they probably want me to. But she backed it in, smashed it in. You can see the bike's on the ground, and that's a stage scenario on that bike, and now she's gone over there pretending to cry and carry on. And the little one, this is just all stage swarming around. I'm going away because this is a setup. See how there's broken branches? They can't help it if they can't get your attention one way. See how there's broken branches there that have been cut off that tree there? Well, perhaps I'll talk about the broken branch, and I'm going to have to go through here and go down my street and go home. There's another little one in there with with a little green thing. So, see how tiny they are? They're too tiny to be in this thing. See how they are swarming around here? Can you see? Oh, he's up here too. Yeah, bend over and pretend. What in the hell is he? I have to say, what is he doing? But I shouldn't even ask. He's washing his hands. How clean. I've never seen anyone ever in this park use that tap and wash their hands, but he is. But I'm just going to try. I can't focus on anything without focusing on these little ones. They're swarming around me here. They're swarming around. These possessed beings, these little tiny possessed beings, are only a few feet tall, but do not be deceived. They are android little ones, and they are possessed with the spirit of the God of this matrix world, and that spirit is anti-life, anti-human, and very destructive. They may not even know why they're patrolling, but they are not random natural children playing in a park, despite appearances. I'm sorry, that is the reality. 9 out of 10 people wouldn't accept this. No way. That's right, he shook his hand at me as he went past, as you saw. But doesn't mean anything. But that is, you know, when they point and stuff, I have seen this. I picked this up on the computer. Because don't forget, there is no difference between this reality of all these things walking around and playing around and pretending to be normal and natural as the technological device that you have in your home, the computer or the television or anything else. It's all technology. The beings that are on that, the demigods and even the lesser ones, doesn't matter who they are on a screen, apart from myself and a few others who are using it at this time, but are in the middle of all this technology. We don't look any different. We don't look any more real than the technical beings that are around. And even our own kind can't tell the difference. So there is very little hope in that respect, and I have to say that honestly. There is no hope in that regard. Because if you met a real human being and they can't tell for sure and see for sure that you are the same as them, then you're in big trouble. And basically that is the situation. From my experience, that is the situation. And that's why it is very, very, very serious and even hopeless. See how they're lurking in there instead of riding their bikes, they'll stay in there and lurk around. Look, I just cannot get away from these things. I can't get away from them. I can't find any real people. And if I did, I can't converse with them because if they are not quite aware of the Matrix and believe, or see, he's driving his bike round the back of me to get attention so that I swing round and film him so it looks as though I am interested in the bike riders when they are really doing it to me. Here is the broken branch left for me on the ground. Is it coming out? Okay, broken branch. Broken branch. So essentially, that's it. You know, I mentioned this before about the Simba dog peeing on every broken branch that he could see, even when he was blind, so he couldn't even see the broken branches, but he peed on them. Orange on the bike rider. Because they like to pee on the broken branches, because we are the broken branches. Birds tweeting when I said that. We're broken branches. They've been showing me this now for a long time, but I was too slow and dim-witted to pick it up. Only picked it up over the last few months after a couple of years. And even before that. But before that was understandable that I wouldn't get it because I wasn't aware of the Matrix in this controlled artificial technical world before that. Oh, sorry about that. I didn't film that. But see, the broken branch. See, real life is a broken branch from tree of life. And so we are in this matrix, but we're broken off from the natural tree of life in order to come into this technical artificial matrix for whatever reason. If you're asking me what I've come in here for or why I'm stuck in here, I would have to say that I can't for the life of me figure it out. But, you know, maybe maybe we are fooled. Maybe we're fooled into ambulance going past. And I said maybe we're fooled. There was activity all in front of me there with the playground and that fella lurking in amongst the bushes, just lurking. I say lurking because they are lurking, because they are like spies. Basically, most human beings are surrounded by spies, all sorts, you know, big, small, whatever. But the big ones, of course, they're patrolling and watching humans to see if they start to see the matrix reality. And the minute you start to see this matrix reality, even a little bit of it, as a broken branch, they will come down hard on you. They will close in on you, and they won't be shy to show their presence even at this point, because they're like, you are starting to see the false, fake, controlling matrix reality that is around you. And if we allow you any scope at all, you will be looking for another broken branch, because you will know that there's no point in going to a technical artificial being for support or for any help in this artificial matrix, because they are part of it. They support it, they endorse it, they like it, they love it. It is them. This one is still going around me here. But a little one's swarming in front here. Swarming in front, but I'm not going to film them. But look. True. So you will know that you need to find another life broken branch from your source, the tree of life. You see? And so then they'll close in to make sure that they surround you, so you will be separated from your real kind, because you think that all this around you is your kind. You think they are all natural, normal human beings, just using technology like myself as a mobile. But don't forget, this technology is designed to take you over. You know, you're already in a system or a society from the day you're born. You just don't realize how much it really is controlling you at a mind level. That's why when you start to realize things, they put the technological matrix in action all around you, even though it looks like normal people around you. I will say this, see how there's these people sitting up there in the park on the grass, people up there sitting on the grass? I've mentioned before that they never used to sit on the grass in this park at all, ever, in the 30 years that I have lived in the same place just opposite this park, okay, down that Henry Street there, which is just there in front, past those tombstones, straight in front there. That if you go through that little entrance there, past that truck that's left there for me, that's my street there, straight in front. That's Henry Street. You know, I live at number 3, unit number 3, and the address is 34 to 36 Henry Street. It is on this side. It is on the left-hand side as you turn around into it. Just past the great big Greek church that's on the other side to my house. Just thought I'd throw that in. Don't know why. Maybe I think that if some human happened into Leichhardt at some stage and they know and they've seen the video and they they might there might be some sort of contact. I don't know. It's not like these are things that I'm up for in a way, but it's necessary at this time. You know, it's just necessary. It's not only necessary, I think the word is, what is that word? More than necessary. It's vital. There is no choice, because, like I say, you know, when you realise that this is a situation, that there are not many broken branches in this artificial reality. This is a natural broken branch, a real life broken branch off the original tree of life, separated from their own kind in this artificial matrix. That's putting it basically. Separated from your own kind, separated from other branches, from the tree of life. I picked that up from the park where they have painted, not this park, but the other park that I'm too frightened to go back into now because I took a fall as I went in there. So they're swarming around me here, the little ones, but you can't see them. I'm not going to film them. I'm not going to film them. But there's activity all around me, even though it is subtle. So that I can't concentrate. Because, you feel surrounded. And it doesn't make me look like a rational person if I'm hassled by things that are so much smaller than myself. It's one thing to point out the jackets where you have, what appears to be like uniforms almost operating. But when you point out the small things, the small beings, and, apparently innocent people, but they are not, they are negative, they are anti-life. Even if you had had individual psychopathic types of people, they can be used by the Matrix because they have a natural aversion to their own kind and to life human beings or positive human beings, and they tend to want to limit them and bring them down just naturally by their own personality or their own nature that that's beyond their control, really. The dog's carrying a branch. He's carrying a branch. Are you carrying a broken branch, doggy? Even by nature of that if you were just psychopathic in your personality, in some respects, even if this was, I often think, even if this was a natural world, because this is what I originally thought when the Matrix first exposed itself to me. I thought that, as I've said before, that just most of the population was psychopathic in nature, personality, and that they had combined, against those that are not psychopathic. Because they see them as a threat and are just naturally against them and naturally see them as trying to take something from them. Of course, they assume that when you act a certain way, that it's all false, because they basically lie and basically act everything out in order to pretend to be more of a positive human being. When you, as a natural, normal human being, react positively to something, they think that you are trying to outact them. They think it's like an Academy Award performance, and they're up for the Best Actor Award, shall we say, and that you are trying to also be up for the Best Actor Award, and that you're trying to outact them. And so then they will try to push you down, because they will see you as competition. They won't actually think that you're really real, even. They won't. Most psychopaths think that everyone else is like them, acting for attention, like in the movie type of thing. They do think that. I've seen that because I get that feedback from them, and I'm always surprised by it. I don't think I'm explaining this very well. It is hard, it's complicated in a way. Even I sometimes lose sight of it and get confused by it. But if you think you're a real human being and you just have, are always acting and always trying to get attention, shall we say, you just assume that everyone else is doing the same. And there's some truth to it. But real human beings don't desire attention 24/7, whereas matrix ones and psychopathic people do tend to need that. And even that is not 100% the case. Not all the time. But it is the case in what I experience around. So I'm speaking from personal experience, but I'm saying that not all even of that nature focus totally on it, because they will have other goals as well. But essentially everything will centre around them making their lot better and pulling themselves up above you in some way or another. That is still also part of being successful and part of being noticed, part of all these sorts of things. Except that it's excessive in the case of the matrix people, that's all. It's not, and and they need it for survival. They almost feel that they don't exist if they don't do it. Whereas, of course, we are conditioned from the day they're born to feel a bit that way too. So that's an interesting point too. Matrix patrollers around there, but they're not going to come out. I think I can't do any more of this. I'll have to close it. I'm sorry. I'm losing my whole train of thought. And I was going to sit on that seat and actually mention a few songs to make my point, because if I can't express it the correct way, then I shall have to use what is past human thought, what is already past, like the demigods or a piece of music or something, to express it clearly, because I just am not capable of doing it. Even love, if it comes from the matrix and the demigods, it is false if you think that it is coming from them. But the sentiments expressed in the songs or in anything that comes into this reality does come from real people, may even come from yourself. So it's not unreasonable to use it, because it really is as much you, more you than them. And they just express it more eloquently, shall we say. To where other people, other humans get it. Instead of floundering around like I am, in a park. In, a matrix reality that is escaping being shown. See, while I'm filming these trees, even though there are little ones running around in front of me there, I basically look as though I don't have any validity at all. That's why this park is still full of trees, so that I'm filming them, and I'm actually defeating my own purpose, because if I'm saying this is all a technologically controlled matrix, me filming a pleasant park with trees everywhere, huge trees too, some of the best trees, the high trees, it really doesn't make sense to a human being that, I think they're starting up with some noise, to a human being that is, trying to show how technology rules, really. How this is all, the trees, okay, are not technologically controlled, but everything else is. And the people are. All the people are. Finding the broken branch, even one broken branch in amongst all this vast technologically controlled population in Leichhardt or anywhere else in Sydney or even anywhere in the world is no easy task. And if you do find one, they will be convoluted and confused by this matrix reality. You will think you have found someone that you can communicate with freely and easily, and that will not be the case. I speak from experience there. In fact, you could well be setting yourself up for more depression, more negative vibration, more bad feeling, because you will have expectations that things might be able to rise a bit above everything. But instead, you'll just be met with confusion. Well, here we go. He's going to come back with the blower. How many leaves do they have to blow around the park? He was tempted to start that up in front of me, but he doesn't want to show you what a negative, technically controlled android person being really is. Little ones swarming after him. Can't help himself, can't help itself. Look at him, just making noise, blowing air, because there's nothing to blow along the path. Just hassling me. Won't come out on the video. Doesn't want me to explain my point about the connection to the human being. Doesn't want me to break through to another human being in any way, these people, these beings. They don't want it. They will come at anything to stop you from breaking through, because that's what they fear the most. I've said it before and it is true because I know it's true. There's another broken brain. They don't want. They know that it can be big trouble for them. If even two broken branches connect, but I'm not talking about being aware of one, because I know there are other real humans even in Sydney or in suburbs around here. A few. I'm aware that there, but I cannot connect with them. I can't communicate with them, and even if I did, I might not be able to really connect. In fact, if I told them about the Matrix, some of them would probably think I was basically insane. But, you know, that's at a basic level. See, they started up with that noise again, so they'll just blow leaves around in this park. Actually, that's not as noisy as what they can be. You know, because they've already done the grass, so they can't pretend to come and do it again, because I saw all the grass. You know, I missed them because I didn't come into the park. I've got stuff in my ears and yet I can still hear that noise. So I'm sidetracked from my conversation. And this is what they want. This is what they want with human beings. They don't want you to be clear-minded and connect and really get it. They want you to be agitated to where you will present a confused, agitated image, or to where another human being will not pick you up to be a real-life human being. They will pick up negative things about you and presume that you are part of the Matrix. This can happen to the best of us. So unless you hold to a basic belief, as I do, that I can see that some people are not of the Matrix, very few. But that doesn't mean that I'm still going, you know, I set myself up for disaster if I connect. Particularly if you connect with one and you actually believe that it is, without a doubt, someone that you definitely are connected to, but that you really form a strong bond with at all levels. You know, I've lost my train of thought, you see. But that person can still be taken over by the Matrix, in the sense that if you are going to play with this Matrix, as we're all obliged to, you will have to throw away everything you see and say, I think at the basics of that person, they're a broken branch. And everything else will be what the matrix will be showing you to push you away from connecting with the broken branch. Everything else. Because don't forget, even the truth is going to be used against real people at this time. I've said this for years now, and many others have agreed with this. So you will see things. You will see, yes, you will see me doing the, well, that fella's still in the park an hour or two later, and when I saw him, so there's something suspicious there with those two dogs. Either that or he's very good to his dogs, letting them play for that time, but they are nice dogs. Hello, doggy. Yes, are you going to pee on the broken branch like Simba did? Are you? Are you? Are you? Are you? Are you going to pee on the broken branch like Simba used to do? Oh. Oh. He's panting a bit, it's a bit hot. Mm. Mm-hmm. They're all starting to come up. Yeah. A little bit around there, but I keep my, see, they don't want me to. So I stand at the back of me looking at me. So I shall focus on the tree and walk away. See, I was just going to focus on that tree, but let's see if we can get that tree in. The sky is clear. Well, there's a few clouds. Oh, that noise of that tree, that fellow with the thing there. He's a mile away, and yet I can still hear it. That shows you how loud that is. It's not necessarily. Oh, there's another one coming down here, I think. Try not to get their faces in. You know, they're basically just watching. They're standing back and holding back, but they are there, in front, over there. They are around, and that noise from the wind blower. Like, why would you be blowing leaves around in a park? Is that normal, people, I ask you? When the wind is starting to blow up a bit too. It is just noise suppression of the human brain at a psychological and vibrational physical level. Because they know that when I go back to the house, someone will start some noise up there on my street. It's just so you never have hardly any time where it's peaceful. You know, they will suppress you and get to you in this matrix one way or the other, but it all looks normal. But notice how that noise is going on while there's all those little ones playing over there in the playground. They don't care about that noise, see, because they're part of it. They don't want. Oh, here we have him coming in the truck again, you know? Look at this little light on the top. Like you said, they're all about safety. They're about their own safety, but they're not worried about any real human safety. Oh, look, I'll have to fold up. Look, I was going to finish on that tree, that branch, trying to explain something. But I can't do it. I'll have to try again. I shouldn't be making these videos. The sun is trying to break through up there. See, that fellow will stop that noise with that wind blower as soon as I leave the park. That is a fact. But because I'm in the park, if I go up there to get away from it, I'll still be able to hear it. You can count on that. I have to. See, they don't want me in the park, and they don't. See, these people have actually brought their own chairs to sit in the park. You'd never saw that ever. Now you do. This fella's coming up here with some sort of thing. Look, see how they're coming up here with some sort of thing? I don't know what they're even doing, but I don't even know if it's going to be real noisy or not, but I think I'll have to close. they've turned it off because I should go up and ask him about killing the weeds. But you see, you ask these people and they will just pretend that they'll pretend there's something wrong with you because you're hassling them doing their job, because they're like, oh, we're just trying to make a living, you know. So, you know, like if I said, why are you spraying all that weed stuff around in the park? What about the natural wildlife, the birds and all the things that are in the park, and even the people and the dogs for that matter? You know, they just make out that they're doing some sort of good job, like that fella with blowing leaves around in a huge park. Like, in what reality would you pay someone money to do that? It would be considered like throwing money away, but they do it because they're not doing it to blow the leaves, they're doing it to harass, suppress real people. Me at this time in this particular park, but it happens to other people in other areas. That's only if they start to see the matrix. If they don't see the matrix, they'll just suppress them psychologically in subtle ways where the person will, like myself in the past, blame yourself, not be aware that anything is going on at all. But I better fold up here because I've lost my train of thought and I'm really not presenting anything that shows anything like I would like to show. In some respects, showing the matrix at a physical level is a waste of time and is doomed for failure, as is almost everything in the matrix, for what I can see now. And, you know, it's just the way that it's set up that way. And, but I guess, you know, like I say, you could even see another broken branch. You could. But, you know, the broken branch may not see you. Yeah, I'm avoiding those possessed children, possessed beings. They're not children, really. Well, they could be, but they're possessed either way, so it makes no difference. But most of the possessed adults are at the same mental level as the children, or it's just that they've had more experience and more know-how, so they use their intelligence differently. But in many ways, they think exactly the same. It's just that they use the more knowledge because, you know, they're able to utilise more knowledge in order to be more cunning in blending into this matrix. The children are very easy. The matrix-controlled children, the possessed matrix children, are very easy to control. Children are a lot easier to possess and to control. But after you've lived as a possessed being in the matrix, like if you're, say, possessed as a child, just take it from that possession level that, you know, forget about the technical even. If you were possessed by another spirit, a dark, negative spirit as a child, you allowed that possession, like in the movie The Innocents. You can imagine that when you grew up, with the more experience, you become more negative and that being has taken over you more. You know, you just be more clever at hiding in the matrix and luring people into the spider's web, you know, even at a negative personal level. That's what happens. I don't think I put that very well. I'm pretty sure I didn't put that very well. So I better close. It's getting quite hot in the park and I've still got a coat on. You know, so I better close up. Am I wrong in saying that even dragging garbage tins, you know, that's what I notice even around Borama, where the neighbours will come round dragging the bins around outside your door, that even that is still part of sound, and it's not like the negative technical mechanical sounds that can really damage your ears and really psychologically really destroy you. But even just the smaller negative sounds, if they're used in between those technical sounds or in conjunction with them, they also take your attention. I can't believe that that leaf blower is still going in the background. It won't come out on the mobile, but I can still hear it, and I have got stuff stuck right in my ears. So that shows you that that one little wind blower is sending out far too much sound to just blow a few leaves around. But that's what they do around Leichhardt in this fake council that operates this fake thing here. Every bit of machinery they use is much louder than what is necessary for their jobs. This is something that I've noticed over the past years. That is deliberate. That is to hassle the real human beings, to bring their vibration and frequency and their mental state down. You know, that is, you know, and they combine that with everything else. This bike rider will double back round in front of me. Notice that? You know, see? That's a possessed, matrix-controlled, small technical being on a bike. I'm just going to go home now. Yes, there will be noise there because they're supposedly pulling the house down that is in the block next to me. And you will see people come out with these same wind blowers. You will see just about everyone in the street come out with them, making noise with them. You know, like that's not natural activity, but you can't prove it any more than I can prove that this in front is all artificial controlled and staged. Can't prove a thing. Can't prove a thing. But getting in the car there in front as soon as I come out the park, you see. There's always someone getting in a car, always someone walking past. It's never round my street there, so. There's only a bus depot there, so there shouldn't be any cars, but they all go into that bus depot. Yeah, I'm not sure, I didn't notice this before. But that's Tombstone too, but it's right at the entrance to the park. See? Of course we have them going in, but we won't film the little ones because they just want that. That gets them attention and all sorts of other rubbish. It's rubbish, but it's a reality. So although I say it's rubbish as though it doesn't matter or cause me any problems, in reality I do take notice, as you can see. See, they're coming round in front of me from my street. They're right on the corner, right in front. See, right in front. See, they have to cross right in front, have to come right down in front. See, that's the way it is. No. Small dead-end street. Small dead-end street. But they have to come out when you come here. See, if I kept this thing here, just planted here, see, this car just pulled out in front of me. Look, see? Pulling in front. Pulling right in front. Not going anywhere, not going in the park, doesn't live in any of the houses, and now pulling out in front. Is that not obvious? Green jacket walking up behind, in front. See? One coming up in front of me. I can't believe I'm doing this. One in front there. Look how he's slowing up. Pulled around in front and now going to go up into the bus depot. But did you see how he just pulled in front, then pulled out? That's nonsensical if this was all for real. He's pulling out in front there too. See, I said if I just stand here with the camera on the corner of my street, see that's William Street there, this is William Street, but my street is Henry Street, just straight in front there where that place is in the corner. I'm on that side. You know? And this car over here, that fella, that one in it, is just going to sit there with the engine running. I don't know if it won't come out in the mobile, but that engine is running and he is not pulling out. So he's just going to sit in it with the engine running. Not normal. Not natural. technical controlled vehicle. Okay, so I'm just going to stand. So he's still standing there to stop me from filming here, to get me to go down my street. Now he's finally moving out. He's going to turn around. No, he's going to pull right in front of me. Look at that. Is that obvious? Tell me that is not obvious. Watch it. Just watch it. Right in front. That is intimidation. And he's gone now. Did you see it? Of course you saw it. What are you gonna say? Someone will say, well, look, okay, so he turned in front of you. So what? Well, we haven't seen a few buses. One walking in front there, one behind me. How many bus drivers, or so-called bus drivers, do you see walking up past you? It doesn't matter what time. It could be 3 o'clock in the morning sometimes. I'll be walking up into this bus depot. It is too big. It's not normal. He's going to sit there in front of me. I can't believe that. And he is standing there. He's went onto the road instead of going up to the bus depot. This is so obvious. Like I am intimidated. I'm leaving. Okay. That's a victory to the Matrix there, because they have successfully got rid of them. But who sits on the fence? No one sits on the fence. In fact, no one has ever sat on that fence. You might think that's unbelievable, but it's true. But they do now. I even sat there myself for the first time. Maybe they actually copied me, I don't know, but I sat there for the first time not long ago because I wanted to wait for the bike to come round with my son with the groceries, and I knew that I would be home before him. See how he's just going to sit there in front of me on that fence? He's coming up behind me, coming round into my street. I just come out of the bus depot. Look at it. Might come out of the bus depot. Oh, I think they've took my bag there actually. Someone has took my bag. I left my bag here before I went over into the park. It only had a drink in it, but they've actually stolen it and took it, because normally if you left a shopping bag here they would leave it, but they know that I wanted that drink and that I'm a bit thirsty. So he's just going to sit there on there. And now the fellas come back out. See how they're pulling all those bins around? Van going around into my street. But see how they are pulling all those bins out in front of me? Can you see that? As I look over there in front. See, he's in front and they are pulling. He took those bins and now he's brought them back again. See? There's no sense to that. But it looks reasonable, but it ain't. Okay, so not only have they forced me and had another little, made me feel bad today there in trying to film in the thing. See how they're playing around in the front there? Look, these people are all employed. These numbers of people for that one park. In the past, you had one man that wasn't even there most of the day. This is another thing, but you would have to know this park like I do. I walk through it every day for the last 30 years. It's just down the end of my street. That fella is still going to stay there on the fence there. He will sit there till I go. The minute I go down the street, he will get up and go. But, you know, see the activity there? That doesn't prove anything I know. But I've lost my drink now, my bag. I should have carried it with me, but I can't hold the mobile in the bag as well, so I've lost my drink. Oh well, it doesn't matter. Considering that we're losing everything in this reality, I suppose to lose one drink is nothing. Nothing at all. That's a dead end up there, I must point out. I live in a small dead end street here, but that is a dead end up there. And this car that went down, watch the Matrix Patrol system, as obvious as anything. That car that went down has now turned around the top there and doubled back round and come back down. Is there any sense to that? Watch these two Matrix patrolling cars cross one another. See how he just went down. Oh, he's going to pretend to park. Look at what he's doing. Right in front of me. He will park right in front of me. Is that not obvious? Right in front. Right in front. Always. Right in front. But I'm not going to film anymore because he is starting to get to me. Yes, I have to admit, I'm trying to concentrate on the filming. She's going to get into her car right in front too. Just coincidence or matrix? I ask you. Where do all these people go? What are they really doing? This one coming down, strolling down. Another one there. He's still sitting there. One pulling in front again. See the red one pulling in front there, right in front of me where my eye went straight to it? See, they got it down to a fine heart, as they say. Sorry, got out the car, parked it. Step over the fence and we'll pretend to go into the facility there. And I cannot prove any different. So that is it. I'm going to get caught by someone down the street here. I can see them waiting for me in the distance there, halfway down the street. I will be lucky if I can get just this small little stretch here back to my house without encountering something. I'm going to fold up the video though because she's just standing over there. Can you see this Matrix Patrol system? See how she's just standing there. I thought she was going to get into that car, but she's just standing there. Look, she's standing on the middle of the street, just standing there, doing nothing. That is an obvious patroller, obvious artificial being. These cars here, they don't care because they know I know, and they just think I look foolish. But see how she's just going to stand there? Not going to come out because the mobile doesn't pick up things even much on the other side, but she's standing there. Of course they say I'm standing here. Well, see, that's the way it goes. The fella's still pulling these bins out in front of me here where my eye has gone. See how wherever I look, the Matrix draws you in. It all looks so innocent, so natural. See, they've cleared that there so the little possessed beings can take my eye in just over there, just right in front. So everything that is in my line of eye, there's a fella there in that line with the green jacket too. Green jacket there. Possessed little ones there. There's even a bit of green bouncing out off the bike. See how they put the colours to even draw you in more. See how he's going in my line of sight pretending to go into the facility. Still there, you see, but it's not proving anything. But if this was happening to you daily, all the time, that one over there is still standing there. She's like saying, move along, move along. So, and I'm going to move along, I've had it. But everywhere my eyes look, there's a green jacket where I just focused on that tree, and the green jacket has bounced out in front of me. Won't come out on the mobile. Coming through, pulling those same bins. All coordinated. He just went into the facility, green jacket. Just missed it with the mobile, but it caught my eye. You see, it's all in my senses. She's coming now to the car in front, the one that was standing there. She's going to pull this car out in front of me. See how she was standing over there for all that time, but now that I've just started to move, I'm just going to turn this off and move. She's going to pull this car out. Just watch. See if I'm not wrong. Watch. Watch. See? Am I not right? Matrix Patrol. Pulling out, manoeuvring in front of me. Subtle, obvious and yet very subtle, very clever, very cunning. Look at the way she's pulled out. There she's gone. See, right in front of me. Waited there till I went to move here. Was over there for all that time, drawing my attention to the fact that she was patrolling. And then when I went to move here, because I was just going to turn the mobile off, she's then come over and jumped into that car and pulled it out right in front of me. I like to pull them out right in front of you, so you obviously how now I look over here and there's all those green jackets there. Can you see it? It's not going to come out in the mobile. Fella coming out onto the road. The same fella is now just happens to come out of the facility and getting into the red car and will drive away in my line of sight. All these things are in my line of sight. The Matrix controlling me, taking over my vision. If it can't take over your vision, it will take over your ears, your sound. Car coming round into Henry Street. blinking its... There we go, the leaf blower is back. Can you see him or hear him? Sound won't come out, but it's coming out to me. Truck pulling into the park, into my line of sight. Bike riders going past. Truck pulling into the park. If I go back into that park, there's another truck has pulled in there waiting for me. So I'm definitely not going back in. See, can you see it moving in there? See it in the park, a truck. See? That same vehicle that was in there last time when I filmed. They wait for me to come in. See, can you see it? It's not, oh, it's stopped. There it is, can you see it? See it? Moving in there, just patrolling around. And it's pulled up right next to the tombstones. See? Can you see it? Another car pulling out of this Henry Street, which is a small dead-end street with a limited number of houses. You know. See how it is pulled in next to the tombstones? See that white? That is the truck pulled in next to the tombstones. He's still playing with the bins there in front. See, wherever I put my line of sight. This was pointed out to me in another video, which was shown to me by the Englishman, okay? The Englishman. Well, and that was pointed out clearly about how they have to always be in your line of sight. See how when I look the cars come down. And I was aware of this myself before I saw the video, but it was expressed so much better and so clearly to me because it's such a control matrix. See how this car is going to pull up? Look at it, watch it, slowing up in front of me, and now it's gone off. See, why would you pull up in the middle of a road when the buses come down or cars could come out, right in front of me, a real person? Or I'd say a real person because they're not pulling up in front of anyone else. They do that just to make their presence felt. Because why would you do that? Why would you be going along a road and then pull up in the middle of the road, just even only for a few seconds, just to make your presence felt in my line of sight? I'm trying to remotely show, because I know it's not going to be clear. Remotely, see that truck? When I looked how that truck is now moving out. See, he just moved in there and parked, but now that I'm looking, he's moving out. So it's caught my attention. Can you see it? Can you see how the white truck has moved out? They do not live down my street, but they are going down my street. You know, some people live permanently down there, or at least appear to be. But others, just you see all these different people. It just doesn't make any sense. If you see, I try to look at it logically because I think about it. But if I didn't think I was in a matrix, I wouldn't think about it. I wouldn't care about all these different people. And so, well, of course, there are far too many people for the street that go down the street, or on the road. But you know, I still would dismiss it because I wouldn't care. I'd say, so what? Like I say, I could live in amongst. Even being aware of something, if you think it's not going to do you any harm and it's not trying to suppress or control you or limit your life, you would actually ignore it. You might be a bit disturbed by it, but you'd still try to get on with making the best of living in what you would know to be a technical matrix. But that's not how it is. You will not be allowed to just ignore them or let them get about their business because they're here to make sure that you don't ignore them and that you don't get about your business, that you don't live naturally and normally like you would normally do, not even in the simplest things. They already know that you're limited psychologically, but that's not enough for them. They're like, hey, we're not allowing these people now at this end time to live even a little bit. Even a half an hour of natural life in a whole day would be too much for them to allow you. I'm not going to read what's written on the side of the bus. You know, bikes go down the street too that don't belong there. That's another thing too. That's just because if you live in the street, you've observed it for 30 years. So although I don't know everyone personally in the street, and I don't even know everyone by sight, I still know that it wouldn't be possible for all those people to be for real. For real, in the sense that they actually have a valid reason for going down that street, a dead-end street. And I am closing up before, closing up.